Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Fandom Collective. With me today, I've got my guest, Cooper Runner. Right?
What's
Just
up?
Runner Blaze. I'm sorry, I get your Twitter name mixed up with your actual
Nah,
YouTube
that's
name
but you
sometimes.
can you can call me by my real name if you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's public, so yeah. Um, hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Runner. I'm glad to be here. I've loved the videos that Rookie's been doing with these fan films, and I am more than happy to be here as a guest because this is freaking awesome, and we're gonna watch a fan film of a franchise, if you can even call it that I am super passionate of. That I would say I'm more of an expert of that than Star Wars at this
Oh
point.
yeah, that says a lot right here in this fandom, man. Hell yeah! And what makes this even more special is that Runner and I are basically the rookies of film in our sphere of stuff. I'm maybe the
Yep.
rookie critic, but he's like the rookie junior in that department. So us tackling some fan films, I think is kind of a funny duo here with this.
Yeah.
We got going for us. So without further ado, man, I'm gonna before we get into that actually. You want to tell everybody your background with Mortal Kombat because mine is very short. Or I played a couple of the games. I think the first one I played was Armageddon, and I think I played the one after that a little
Okay.
bit, and I've
Yeah.
seen the movies.
Yeah.
That's my
Armageddon.
knowledge of it. That's it.
So Armageddon was like the last like game of like the actual like canon of the very first game. It was like the first game to that, and then all hell broke loose in the very end.
Yeah,
And then it reboots itself in the ninth game,
and that
Mortal
makes sense.
Kombat 9.
Having Armageddon, if that's like the beginning of the next set phase, it's like no, it should be the end of a phase. I would think.
No, but like then like if you played the ninth game, like you'll understand. Like in the very beginning of that, it takes place right in the end of Armageddon
Yes.
of that game, and then Raiden like goes back in time with the whole amulet because it's cracking. But you'll get it if you played the game. It's really cool. It's like it's both 1, 2, and 3 of the first Mortal Kombat games mixed into one. It's awesome. They make some changes, but it's still Mortal Kombat, which is why it's awesome.
Yeah. That's tight. Yeah. So did you play the original games for the most part, or you said you're more of the modern guy?
Yeah, I'm more of an expert on the modern stuff. I mean, I have the arcade one up for the first 3 games, and it came with like 6 other random games like Joust and Gauntlet and stuff in there that I sometimes play. Defenders in that as well. But the first 3 games, I played the first one a little more than 2 and 3. Didn't play 2 and 3 as much. I mean, 2 is really cool. 3 is also cool. I guess 3 Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate or whatever is what it's actually called.
Mm-hmm.
That was what was released after because they added like more characters or something. I don't know. Not too much of an expert so much on the older stuff. I need to get more into that. It's the newer stuff like 9 to 11 is like where I'm like more knowledgeable in.
Okay, sweet. Some recent stuff. Well, I'm assuming that the fan film we're about to watch is probably geared more to the older stuff. I would imagine they usually tend to lean. They usually tend to lean toward the older things. I would imagine, just usually, and it says 2010. So I think at that time there only was Armageddon might have been the one out at that time.
No, so Mortal Kombat 9, which was the reboot, the one after Armageddon, that came out. I don't know when Armageddon came out, but
Armageddon was like 2008, I think, 2007.
Oh, 2008? Okay, Mortal Kombat 9. Yeah. Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat 2011, that's when it came out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because the game's just called Mortal Kombat, but then there was a game after, like before that, called Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. Have you heard of that one?
I played that one.
I own it. It's kind of a guilty pleasure for me because I like both DC and Mortal Kombat, and it's like I really want NetherRealm to like make a proper DC Mortal Kombat like versus game. I think that would really
be fun.
I think it would work now more than it did at that time because like there were some characters that they just left out of that game. Like they didn't have Johnny Cage in it. Like you could have just
I mean you're feeling you're doing a roster of heroes and a roster of Mortal Kombat people, so you can only do so much. I would assume in a game.
Yeah, I know, but like but in that game, it's like they picked Baraka, but you didn't put in Johnny Cage. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, true.
And there's like other characters, like even in DC, you could have put in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, the DC roster was actually kind of better than the Mortal Kombat one.
They had more characters that you'd expect to see in the roster, I assume.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, so this one is called Mortal Kombat Rebirth. It's made in 2010, short movie. This was, it says 2010, but then it says released 2016. So this might have been a re-upload or something, or maybe this is from a different channel. This says it's by FMV Story, but I saw this come up on a few different channels. So
my guess is that maybe they're putting 2010 as like this is when it takes place, or I don't know if that would be the reason.
That could be too, like their title that they would do it, but we shall see. It's got almost 80,000 views as of right now, so that's cool. All right, let's get this puppy going here. Let's go.
This afternoon, Governor Muldoon once again responded to accusations that he has lost faith in the ability of the Deacon City Police Department to maintain order. He insists that Captain Jackson Briggs and his Violent Crimes Unit have his full backing and support. He claims the situation is under control.
I have a feeling this isn't taking place in as much of the story as it typically be.
It'll probably be revealed in a second, but like if that's Jackson Briggs, I'm like looking at the arms and I'm like, okay, this has got to be before he gets his arms ripped off, because
yeah,
it's weird because like the whole thing's like the thing with his origin is like in 9, the 9th game, which is the reboot, Ermac rips his arms off, but I think in the older canon, I think like Sub-Zero did or something. So like
in the newest movie he freezes his freaking arms.
Yes. Yeah. So then there's that, but like the movies are like kind of its own thing.
They're their own thing, of course. Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Yeah. So this has got to be Jax before he actually becomes Jax, because this is like when he's actually, in special forces.
Well, saying this looks like they're trying to do like a detective thing for some reason, but then they're like showing helicopters and police going outside, like, oh, there's a huge attack going on in Deacon City. I mean, what's going on? And it sounds like a city's being attacked. So
you mentioned like detective and stuff, and Jax to me doesn't often really come like. I don't think of him as a detective. You know what I mean?
He's a special forces guy, right? He's like a Marine or something.
It's like special forces is like the Marines type of like facility in the Mortal Kombat universe. That's how we met Sonya Blade and all them characters.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, let's see where the story's taking us. Fan films like to take it in different directions sometimes, so let's see what they got. Just based on so far, do you have any idea who that might be? Let me see if I can go back to.
Yeah, the guy. I'm trying to share the stream out there and trying to watch at the same time.
Okay.
The guy talking. I don't know.
I'll get him. I'll get him to his thing. They didn't say anything yet. They just showed a silhouette, basically, right here.
Okay. I'm willing to bet that it's Kano. That's my guess.
That would make sense. He was hilarious in the newest movie.
He was one of the few things I liked in that new one.
It's a dumb movie, but he's like, lasers better than fireballs, you pussy.
I know, like his dialogue is so spot on to the character, and what is it? Was it like that? There was like one line that he said to Kung Lao in that new movie And I remember being in the theater, and I'm like, how the fuck did they get away with that line? Because it was like
Kung Pao or something.
No, we called him a wushu wanker. That's what it was. I remember laughing my ass off, and I'm like, how the fuck did they get away with this? Because like people would go fucking, the Twitter crazies would go fucking nuts over that.
That's hilarious.
But then it's like, it's Kano. It's like you got to put that in there.
Yep, that's good. I want to see more Kano. There needs to be a Kano show now.
Oh yeah, just make a Kano spinoff for HBO Max. Yeah, I'd be down to see that.
I'd watch it.
"6'1", born with a rare disorder called Harlequin ichthyosis.
Harlequin ichthyosis. Skin
produces too many cells, causing massive diamond-shaped scales that can't retain water.
What the fuck?
In addition, the eyes are formed inside out.
I don't think this is Kano.
No. This guy's dirty.
Is that Reptile?
He likes to rip the heads off his victim's body.
Then his eyes are inside out.
He stores the heads in his refrigerator. And when he's hungry, he eats them.
Wait, he might be talking about somebody else.
Known fatalities are in the double digits. Code name, Reptile.
Oh, I knew it. I said it. That was my second guess.
Huh. I mean, so far they can make Reptile look nasty. That's for damn sure.
Well, the thing about Reptile is like, I don't know. I never thought he'd like. I mean, yeah. Again, this is a fan film. I don't know much about Reptile's like origins. I know he's like, kind of like, he has like some. He's like created from. He's from Outworld. That's where like all the creatures are from. Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung, all those guys that like run the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like one of them, kind of thing.
Yeah, doesn't he like usually wear the same outfit as like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and them, just a different shade, just different color?
So Reptile, he's had many different looks to the character. Like there's like one where he's like just like Sub-Zero and Scorpion, he's got that humanoid look, and he's got the green getup like Sub-Zero and Scorpion, but and Ermac as well. They've changed Ermac's design a lot too. But Reptile, they've made him more reptilian, and like they give him a human form still, but like they give him like scales and all that stuff like a reptile as of like more of the recent games.
Yeah.
But he only looked like a human in like the first like the first 2 or 3 games, I believe.
Yeah, and this one he seems to be like just
because I think Mortal Kombat
at birth mutated weird, and
because I'm pretty sure Mortal Kombat 4 was when he looked more like a reptile than a human.
Yeah, probably. Makes sense. And some of them they seem to have it where he turns into a reptile or something, like he mutates. This one he looks like he's got some plague disease here.
Yeah, like that makeup right there doesn't like give me the whole reptile vibe. I mean, he's giving me like vibes of the lizard from the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, this is like, for a fan film though, I'd say it's fine. For
for a fan film, it's fine. I'm just saying it's giving me that kind of vibe. But like if there's a little bit of green tint in there, like that'd be
maybe the lighting might have helped it a little bit better with making it look a little more scaly.
Yeah,
a little bit, because those look like more like blisters than like scales or something. But that's all good. Let's see what else we got here.
Reptile. Next up, Dr. Alan Zane, plastic surgeon. His first victim likely accidental. The next 2 dozen were not. Zane couldn't take being a failed doctor, so he went psychotic and turned the knife on himself.
Well, that doesn't sound like a smart
pierced
plan.
His face, sharpened his teeth into fangs, and he even surgically attached a pair of 10-inch blades into his forearms.
I like how he's describing it like he went crazy, turned the blade on himself. He started slashing his own face and sharpening his teeth, and then put a blade into his arms. It's just like,
I'm trying to question who that would be. Like,
this is Baraka, right?
Is that supposed to be Baraka?
I mean, who else has the blade sticking out of their wrists like that? He said he's sharpening his teeth, So this seems to be like he's trying to, like, their attempt here is trying to do a more grounded approach to them.
Okay,
so probably not Outworld ish. I would imagine this is like, all born from Earth.
Okay, because
what they're doing.
Because if they're trying to like humanize Baraka, like, and this is me just being honest, I feel like that takes away a little bit of the character, in my opinion. Damn it, I forgot what their species is called. Like, I forgot what their race is called. Like the Baraka race. It's the same race as Shao Kahn.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, same race. They don't just have like blades popping up through the wrist. They even have like little spark. They even have spikes like coming through their like arms sometimes.
Okay.
In some of his designs. Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's see where this takes us.
Codename Baraka.
He's got a couple of spikes on his head a little.
The hair kind of throws me off.
Yeah, it's like dreads. It's like,
it's like
I figured he'd supposed to be bald, right?
Yeah, Baraka does not have hair at all. I don't think any of them do. If I really think about it, like they don't have hair at all, like either of them.
Mm-hmm.
Contact we had with Baraka was through Johnny Cage. Yeah, that's right, the old action hero. After his movie career died, he needed work. We had him working for us undercover.
All right, so Baraka versus Johnny Cage. What do you think so far of their choreography of their fight scene right now?
It's decent. I'm waiting for like the special moves to pop out. I'm expecting hopefully Johnny Cage has like that green like tint to him, like in the games. He'll do like a slide kick or something, or hopefully a nut punch. That's like his signature move. I hope we get that. Yeah, very important things to that character specifically, but yeah, so far it's pretty good. So far,
yeah, it seems like a more serious take that they're doing here.
It's definitely a more grounded take. I would say because where the blades like come out of his wrist, it's like it looks like they were actually like made like mechanically.
Yeah,
and that's not really Baraka.
But he said that he inserted them in there.
Yeah, usually because in like the actual like story of the character and who he is, like that's what he's born with. Like that the in that race, like they're born to have their blades come out of their hands.
Yep, and here is probably just a character, not a race, I would assume.
Yeah, obviously
for the short film here.
Well, I mean, the way the makeup is, it's like that's not human, so it's kind of weird. It's like a bit of both.
They said they described it like he's doing weird stuff to himself. Like
yeah,
he's a doctor that went crazy. He's doing weird stuff to himself.
That's
their explanation for.
That's their explanation, but that's like a completely different take on the character because like I'd say this is like the most like because Baraka really he's not like a super important character. He's just like one of the side characters, really, like almost like anybody else. Like I wouldn't describe him as like a huge fan favorite of most MK fans.
Most likely, yeah, makes sense.
So it's interesting that they're going with that approach, but and this is just me. That's not Baraka, but I find it interesting that they're making like a new approach to the character, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, I feel like fan films in general. So, like, after watching all the ones that I've been watching here, like a lot of them, some will try to be as close to the source material as possible. Others will take a concept of a character and try to put it in a new setting, essentially.
Got it.
Or they'll do a retake on the character in a way. And I feel like with fan films, that's a different area than like with main franchises doing that in a way, because it's experimental essentially, and figuring out, expressing an idea or using what you can with what you got here for it. So.
I'm kind of just looking at it as more like accuracy, more so. Like I'll give you like kind of my grading scale of what I think of it as a fan film versus what I think of it as a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of that, because with this, with it being under 8 minutes long, the last minute's probably going to be credits of some kind, I would imagine. They're setting up the scene with the guy talking to him, and then he's showing a few of the characters, and there's a fight scene. I assume this will be the only fight scene. So like this is the like set piece for their fan film right here for fight scene. So let's see what else we got. I'm liking it, but I guess based on how they described Baraka, I would assume he'd attack more animalistic like. He seems he seems very martial arts based, and I feel like I would like to see, just based on the Baraka being more of a monster.
Exactly.
Would be like, I mean, Johnny Cage using martial arts, and then he's using beast, heavy swings and attacking and like trying to bite him.
Yeah, I feel like they're taking more of the approach from the 95 film. The one with Christopher Lambert as Raiden and Robin Shaw as Liu Kang, because they don't really use their powers a whole lot in some cases. I mean, Scorpion uses some. Johnny Cage doesn't use his powers at all. Yeah. Reptile in that doesn't use his powers at all.
Reptile, that's weird as hell.
I know. I like the whole Reptile thing. It's like, and especially that music, but I can talk about that'll be for another time. But I think they're taking more of that approach where it's mostly just martial arts and not just showing off their powers and stuff.
Yeah, but which I think I'd like to see martial arts, but I feel like with this pairing, like I don't know that much about Baraka, but I feel like he's not a martial artist. He's more of a creature that will attack you. I get.
He's like a bit of both. Like he can do martial arts as well. I mean, he does, like, obviously he uses his blades as like a way of attacking you. He'll even shoot like a spark ball from his blade.
Yeah, that's a weird attack.
It's a weird attack, but like that's like always been a thing for that character.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would like to see something like that.
I guess it's like I could see like Johnny Cage doing more body shots and then shots to the face, and then see Baraka trying to aim more for like the throat, for more vital spots. Not like I'm gonna throw you or I'm gonna kick you in the gut. Like I could see him doing more like trying to do kill shots or rip your arm off or something, like to see the clash of their style. But maybe they do some of that right here. It looks like Baraka's jumping, so we'll see if he's doing like a attack here. Ow. Ouch. Okay, that was him going, all right, I guess I'm dead.
So Johnny Cage is dead?
I guess so. In this one, yep. I'd say in the context of fan films, you got to do it. Like, they don't usually plan on doing multiple films. So it's this is the one time they're doing stuff.
I'll say this. This Johnny Cage death pisses me off less than the one in Annihilation,
where he's just like, huh.
Oh. I hated that when I was I hate that movie in general. I know some people like it as like a guilty pleasure, like, oh, I can watch this for fun type thing. But as a diehard Mortal Kombat fan, I cringe at so many of the stuff in that. I'm just like,
it is. Annihilation is like quoted as like one of the most cringy movies ever.
It's one of the worst, honestly.
But it's one of the worst that's worth watching though. With how bad it is. It's like, oh my god, look at how bad it is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on like where you come from, like, but yeah. And you know, I noticed Baraka in this is like crawling. I've never seen Baraka do that. Like he doesn't often do that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them trying to do that, because if he's just strolling around like a normal person, like he would just look more like a normal dude in this. So like that can help, like doing more weird movements, I guess. But I don't know. What am I doing now?
We have reason to believe this man.
I feel like this guy's an actual actor. He looks familiar.
I think it's Michael J. White, right?
That might be. Yeah, I was like about to say he looks like I've seen him in a couple of things. Like,
I mean, he was
in something.
He was Spawn in the live action Spawn movie.
Spawn. That might be what I'm thinking. Maybe that might be what I'm thinking of.
Because I know there was some like type of like Mortal Kombat series where Michael J. White did play Jackson. I'm not sure if this is it.
I'll figure that out in the edit.
Yeah, I'll figure that out too. Because
Shang Tsung may be behind each killer. The night before Johnny Cage was murdered, he told us about a tournament this Shang Tsung is planning. Some underground death match between the world's top fighters, serial killers, assassins. Which brings me to you, Hanzo Hasashi. Before you're incarcerated.
Hanzo Hasashi?
Wait, so the guy he's talking to right there is Hanzo Hasashi? Or
he just said, it sounded like he just said Hanzo Hasashi. Let's hear that again.
Hanzo Hasashi is Scorpion, in case you don't know.
Yeah, he says,
before your incarceration,
Hanzo Hasashi.
You were the top assassin of the Shirai Ryu.
I love, he says Hanzo Hasashi, and now he's giving him his own backstory.
Yeah, Hanzo Hasashi is Scorpion before he becomes Scorpion.
Okay. That's cool. I think it's funny in the context of this. It's like he's talking to him and going, and now I'm going to tell you your own backstory for you.
Yeah, that's why I was like curious if that's who he was talking to, because it'd be pretty hard to put Scorpion on chains, but
yeah. Well, let's see.
The most lethal bang in Japan. We want to put you back out on the streets. If this tournament exists, Shang Tsung will find you. And if this tournament exists, here's our one shot to take out Baraka, Reptile, and the other maniacs who turn this city into a killing field. We want you to join the tournament, and we want you to win it. We want you to do what you do best and kill them all.
You know a great deal about me. So you must know that I surrendered my freedom voluntarily.
Okay, so you can be assured in that then. It's not like they captured him. He allowed them to talk to him.
Oh, okay.
Now, what you don't seem to know is that I can have my freedom back whenever I choose. So tell me, Detective Briggs, what could you possibly offer me in exchange for my help?
Sonya Blade. Perfect timing.
Sub-Zero.
That man is dead.
His pictures were taken yesterday.
Dun, dun, dun.
The man you killed was his brother.
No, impossible.
Sub-Zero is alive and well and will be at that tournament. You want him? You got him. Leave no survivors. Understand? None.
Hasashi, are you listening? Find Shang Tsung and finish him.
Anzo Hasashi is dead. My name is Scorpion.
Ooh.
Get over!
Nice. That was all right.
That was probably the best part of that fan film was that very end. That was that I got a little bit of a Mortal Kombat vibe from that.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. This probably felt more like, you know, they're using like some of the character names and like some of the concepts for characters, but it wasn't very Mortal Kombat, essentially.
No.
Right here. Well, let's see the description here. He says Mortal Kombat Rebirth is a 2010 detailed short film directed by Kevin Takarian or something, with fight choreography and also 3 video games. The short film actually was made by the director to sell Warner Bros. On his vision for a reimagined Mortal Kombat film. The pitch eventually evolved into the web series Mortal Kombat Legacy and solidified.
That was it. That's when that Mortal Kombat Legacy was the web series where Michael J. White played Jax. So I think that was it.
That might be.
That makes a little more sense. Because I haven't seen that web series, but I've heard good things about it.
I know there was a Mortal Kombat show, but I didn't know if that was Legacy. I thought that was something else I'm thinking of.
There's like 2 of them. There's that, and then there's some other TV show, but I don't know what it is. I forgot.
Yeah, well, I can say it doesn't look like they'll make like any follow-up short film on here, especially if they got their series made. So that makes sense. But
yeah, I think they did because it. I know it comes with the Blu-ray if you get the Mortal Kombat Annihilation Blu-ray. It does come with the Mortal Kombat Legacy disc as well.
Mm. I know that.
I believe. I don't have that. I don't have that set yet, but you can get it. It's like a 3-film collection thing that Warner Brothers released on video.
I gotcha. So, after watching that, what would you rate it as a fan film, and then what would you rate it as like a Mortal Kombat adaptation?
Okay, so yeah, that's a good. So a fan film, I'd give it like 7, 8. That type of scale. I would say like the production value does look pretty good, so I'd probably give about an 8.
Like I'd say it looks like it was. I'd say it could look like it was ripped right from a movie, essentially, with the quality.
Yeah, like decent. Yeah. So like and an 8 for me is like a good score.
Yeah, I guess I don't really give like number. I guess I don't really give number ratings, but yeah, it's like I'd say on a fan film 1, I'd say it was pretty good, and like they have a limited time. And they're, talking to the character, giving backstory, and then having one fight scene in it. Essentially, the brief moments, you had Reptile, eating whatever with the bodies, and trying to show it like that, showing Baraka make himself sort of. So that was something, with 8 minutes to work with. I think that was utilized pretty well for what they're trying to go for, and it looks like they're trying to do more like a, weird people creating them, like making mutant people essentially with this version, like more grounded.
I mean,
in a way it kind of reminds me of Zack Snyder in a way. I was thinking when I was watching this, I was like, this looks like a Snyder directed thing kind of, but I guess that's just more of a slow-mo fight, and it's darkly lit and stuff, and it's like taking it seriously. There wasn't really any jokes in there other than him doing the cigar and then coughing up blood and then getting killed.
I mean, I did get some like some of the tint, like some of the like the filters in it did feel like a little 300-ish. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see that. There was a little bit of slow-mo in there, you know. I Zack Snyder didn't come to my mind, and you know, I'm a big Zack Snyder fan, but
I figure. Yeah. Mine's on a surface level, I'd say that, but yeah, with the way it was. But like I'd say, yeah, me not like if I didn't recognize the character names, I wouldn't have known this was Mortal Kombat at all. Like
no,
this just seemed like I liked it for what it was, but I don't know, it doesn't really scream Mortal Kombat. But yeah, any other thoughts on it?
no.
Well, I got you. Well, now that you've seen one example of a Mortal Kombat fan film, what are your expectations for fan films? I guess, or what do you want to see?
Wait,
what do you want to see in a fan film? Yeah, I can hear you. Or I could for a sec, but now you might have frozen. I when you said, "Can you hear me?" I heard you, but then if you're talking after that, I couldn't hear you, and it looks like you're frozen. Frozen solid. I'll probably have to add you back in. It might be internet issue. I don't know. We lost Runner. Runner's got to come back. Oh no, folks. All right. Well, he'll be back in a second, probably. Tim, what's up, Tim, in the chat if you're still around? What's up, man? Papa Cotton, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for dropping on by. I'll see if Runner on his way back in a moment over here. Probably had an internet crash, I would assume. It's happened to a couple people lately, or StreamYards in general. Sometimes just not function as well as it probably should. But that's how the way it rolls sometimes, I would say. But yeah, there are quite a few Mortal Kombat fan films, to my surprise, and I was able to glance at some of them, and a couple of them looked pretty good. Some of the locations they used kind of were a little lackluster, but some of the special effects that they had in the meantime were pretty well done, I would say. And then like some of the character makeup on some of them, like they'd have a few characters that look pretty good, like their counterpart, and then others look very cheesy. But for fan film, you know, it's always difficult to like guess their budget that they had and the time frame they gave themselves to be able to do something. So that is one of the challenges there. One of the other ones, I think that this seemed like the only one out of the ones that I picked that takes more of the gritty take, that doesn't that's like more supposed to be grounded. The other ones seem to be more colorful from what I can get a look at over here. And they're also a little bit longer in length, like over 10 minutes. This one was just under 8 minutes. So one like that would probably just be just fine. Runner says internet disconnected. Sorry about that. All right, there he is. This device is not connected. It should hopefully readjust in a sec as it's getting figured out. Hey, Runner. It has you up here for me to click on, but it's not letting me add you to the stream yet. It says devices not connected. So I'm not quite sure with that. We're just about wrapping up. We're just about to wrap up our thoughts on the fan film anyway, and then in about 15 minutes, I'm premiering another fan film reaction with Josiah Rises after this, where we looked at an Assassin's Creed Western type of one. And sorry if I sound very nasally. I've been getting over a heavy cold that I had recently, and I'm still kind of getting the sinuses up in the face that are starting to get out now. But you know, I had a normal sickness, not Z COVIDs, so I am getting better. And now we're just about to wrap this up. But I wanted to get his final little thoughts on this before we close out to make that an official ending here. There we go.
I'm back. You hear me?
There you go. Yeah. Yep, we got you.
My internet for some reason does not work on the computer at the moment. I don't know why. I got to reboot it, but yeah. So okay. So as a Mortal Kombat adaptation, I'd give it a solid 4 out of 10. That's just me though.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd say
I would
that's.
have, I would have gone much lower than that if it wasn't for the very end. Like the very end sparked a little bit more Mortal Kombat to me.
Right, like it's about to that's a good start to a movie. That's like, oh, that's gonna be tight. Essentially.
Yeah, it felt like an intro type of thing. It didn't feel like an actual like completed story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. Yeah, a lot of these fan films are like, to set up a tease, and sometimes they end up being able to make like more parts to their fan films. But like I said, it seems like he was able to get his web series, so that's awesome too. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, with that, we're gonna go for now, everybody. Thank you all for coming on by, Tim and Papa Cotton, and this will be on a re-upload later as well. And check out the reaction with Josiah Rises and I about like less than 15 minutes now. We did one on Assassin's Creed, and we will see you guys later.